The Marion County Board of Commissioners has approved a resolution calling for the repeal of a statewide measure that decriminalized the possession of hard drugs. Voters approved Measure 110 in November of 2020. On top of decriminalization, it was also meant to expand access to addiction treatment. A resolution that commissioners considered today pointed out that since the measure passed, there has been an increase in overdose deaths in Oregon. Back in 2020, there were 585 deaths. Compare that to 2022 with over 1,100 deaths. The resolution argues the state legislature should repeal Measure 110 to, quote, protect the public health, safety, and welfare. During public testimony, people from all walks of life spoke out against the measure, including a business owner, nonprofits, and the county sheriff.
The intent when 110 was created was that we want to get to treatment, and treatment is the answer. And we don't disagree. Treatment has always been the answer, and we have several programs that have worked to allow that treatment to run its course and do what it's supposed to. But now what we have unfortunately done is we have disincentivized that treatment and the ability of law enforcement to intervene, as the DA is talking about.
While the board unanimously approved the resolution, the power is ultimately up to the state to repeal Measure 110.